think we're ready to go ahead and get started. We're going to have a word of prayer in just a second. On behalf of Pikeville Medical Center, its board of directors and the executive team, I'd like to welcome each of you today to the unveiling that's going to happen here in just a few minutes. But before we get started, as is our practice here at Pikeville Medical Center, we always open our meetings and our events with prayer. So if you would join me in a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you, God, for the day that you blessed us with, God. God, we thank you for the sunshine that we feel. Lord, we just thank you for everything that you do, Lord. We know that you're in all the works, Lord, and we pray that you stay right there with us, God. God, we thank you, Lord, for our medical center. Lord, I thank you for each and every person that's seated around today, Lord, and those standing around, Lord. Thank you for everything that you do for each one of us, Lord. God, I thank you for our patients. I thank you for our staff. Lord, just be with them today, Lord. Be with the patients, be with the staff as the day goes on, Lord. And be with us during this ceremony, Lord. Just each speaker that comes to the podium, Lord, would you bless them, give them the words to say, God. And when we all depart here, Lord, be with each and every one, return them home safely. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Now I'll turn it over to Dr. Aaron Crum, who has some opening comments for you. Thank you.
Well, thank you guys so much for being here today. I'm so proud and happy to be a part of this. This has been a long process to get going, and for our hospital and for our region, I think it's unbelievably a step in the right direction. You know, what we've done here at Pikeville Medical Center I've been here 21 years, so over the past 15 years or so has been massive, rapid growth. And really what we did was we became a center that provided almost every type of medical care, excluding a very small subset of things to adults. But we really didn't do that in pediatrics. And somewhere a couple of years ago with this new board of directors, which includes Dr. Mettu, Dr. Jyothi Mettu, the decision was made that we were going to make the same emphasis on pediatrics. And this is the first step in that direction, and this will become a pediatric hospital in all ways over time, just as we did in the other areas in our hospital, such as trauma center. People said we couldn't be a trauma center, and we now are the only level 2 trauma center in the state. We will do that in the pediatric hospital world as well. I'd like to take a couple of minutes just to talk about my friends, RV and Jyothi Mettu, though. And though they actually are my friends, they're actually my true neighbors. We live just a few houses away from each other. And, I've really known them my whole career here. And because it's a pediatric hospital, we always talk to Jyothi about it, but I want to talk about RV for just a second. And those of you that know him, I think the best way to say is maybe genteel. He's a true gentleman. One of the few people that is always a true gentleman. He always gets what he wants, but he gets it in a way that is ultra appropriate, and you feel really good about it. So he's really a special person. And I'll tell you this, that in our sleep division, he's ran that for a long time, and it's an incredible program. And he really has taken the reins of transitioning that as we go forward as well. So he personally is picking the person that will take that over. He's personally transitioning them into that. So I'm very proud to call him a friend. He's a great man and great for this community. And then I'll talk about Jyothi. Jyothi and I have more interactions over the years because we served on committees. The whole 21 years I was here together, as she was always chair of quality council. And I often served on executive committees throughout the hospital. And I'll say this, she's one of the most intelligent people I've ever met. And her and I think, work very well together because we think of things very differently. And often we're saying the exact same thing. And she has put, a lifetime of devotion into making this hospital and now this pediatric center, a shining star for this area. Now, we've been together for a while. Some of you weren't here. There's been a lot of great things said about the medical care that Jyothi's provided through multiple generations of people in this area, and that's very true. And as she transitioned out of actively practicing medicine, she didn't stop. She transitioned onto the board of directors and has been the spearhead for this pediatric hospital that we're getting ready to unveil, and you'll be able to see a little bit later. So I'd like to ask for just a quick round of applause for these two. I can't say anything more about them than that. So I'll open it up to Donovan Blackburn, our CEO.
Thank you, Dr. Crum. I made quite a few notes last night, RV and Jyothi, and I'll try to get through some of them, but I'm also going to speak a little bit from the heart. Starting out, is that we leave our footprint in this world in many different ways. And when you look around at your absolutely wonderful family, beautiful family that all came in to celebrate this day, there's absolutely no doubt that your footprint for generations to come will be witnessed, it'll be seen, and obviously there'll be a huge mark left on this planet for many years, many years to come. But it goes beyond that. Your mark in this community to so many people means so many different things. RV, you've been a friend for so many years. I mentioned this, we had a little luncheon upstairs, but I mentioned this up there, that years ago I was having a little trouble, and was the first opportunity to interact with RV, and I think that Dr. Crum explained it right. Did a really good job in his depiction of who RV is. Very gentile, very much a gentleman, very passionate though, and very caring. Anyone that knows RV understands what type of man that he is, and I'm proud to call you my friend. Jyothi, the same thing, Dr. Jyothi. I mentioned upstairs, again, is that I have a 35 and a 36-year-old that as a young mother, my wife Debbie, would come home after a doctor's visit. My son had asthma, really bad, and she was often a scared mother. But Jyothi didn't just treat our kids. She mentored a mother on how to raise her kids and how to take care of them, how to nurture them, and how to allow them to grow. But years later, I had the opportunity of being selected to take on this position, and I'm now a grandfather. And as a grandfather with a granddaughter who's on the spectrum, being again, once again, from a wife to come to her dear friend and allow her to mentor her in a way of putting her at ease and allowing her to know what life to expect with Ava. It's just so comforting. And again, Jyothi, thank you for your contribution to this community. Thank you for your friendship. And thank you for all that you do on behalf of healthcare for the citizens of this region. Shortly after I became CEO, Jyothi came, and we had, her and RV, we had some really good discussions about the need to advance our pediatric care throughout the entire region. As we had a pediatric dinner a couple of nights ago, and I'll echo what I said then, is we have great pediatricians in our area. And again, Jyoti's name is always going to be synonymous with a great pediatrician. But it's because of that legacy and where we've been able to grow to as an institution has been absolutely phenomenal. But past that, it wasn't just a pediatrician, a mother, a grandmother, a friend. I now had a board member and a confidant, that we had a lot of common interest to be able, again, to advance the name of pediatric care. We've been able to do that by not only getting the board engaged to understand why this need is here, but also in making the contribution and having somebody that would stand up and advocate for the kids that she has so advocated for over 30 some years. And to have a husband as a pediatrician, having a husband who's a physician there by her side also advocating on her behalf. So we were able to present to the board and have full board buy-in. The pediatric advancements over the past, especially 3 or 4 years, is absolutely short of amazing. As we march forward and was able to secure funding for what we're getting ready to unveil, We asked Jyothi and actually my wife Debbie and several others to serve on the committee to design this wonderful facility. So I was very honored once again, to get her input. After we went through the design and we created our foundation, my staff and I visited several pediatric hospitals and came back with the idea of needing to raise additional money so we can continue to expand. And at that point, as my friends always did, they opened their hearts, they opened their doors, and they opened their pocketbook to contribute to the same group that they have served for so many years. It is so humbling as an administrator to be welcomed into a home and to understand that their life's commitment to this region, their legacy will continue. And it will continue through the name, it will continue through their family, and it will continue by the many lives that will be changed because of what each of you have done and how you have served our community. So I just want to say thank you, my friends. I'm honored to be here today. I'm honored to honor you in such a way, and we appreciate all that you've done for not only a hospital, but for an entire region. With that said, I would like to invite up my dear friend, Dr. Jyothi Mettu, for a few words.
Good afternoon. This is a very humbling experience with all the kind and thoughtful words that are talked about us. Sometimes I wonder, do we really deserve this? And it's also still not sinking into us, especially me, that the Mettu name will be literally etched in the mountains of eastern Kentucky to last for a quite long time. We know we both worked very hard for the care and healing of a lot of people in our lives, met a lot of wonderful people who worked with us for the betterment of people of all ages, especially me being a pediatrician. And this monumental task was announced November of 2018. At that time, it didn't look like it was even possible. Our chair of board of directors, Ron Burchett, and the leading, kind, and very inspired CEO with his whole group has made it possible. What looked like impossibility was made possibility today. So I want to give a round of applause to everyone involved in this great project. We are truly honored that the board approved for us to be able to contribute to make this project possible. And this is a very small part of the contribution. There's so much more was done behind the scenes by everyone involved in getting the grants from the government, Appalachian Regional Commission, and the support from the governor. The many support came in many directions. Our contribution is really a very small one, but it did make a difference to start out. This is just the beginning for the Children's Hospital. We hope to see it grow exponentially, just like the other parts of the main hospital, and provide expanded care and specialty care for the children of Eastern Kentucky. That way, when there is a need for a sick child to be away, the comfort of being at home with the love of grandparents and parents would be much more easier to experience. And we both had first-hand experience ourselves 30 years ago when our youngest son was very ill. He was transferred to University of Kentucky. I literally had to close my office for 6 to 8 weeks and away from home and took care of him. And we didn't have extended family. My brother, who was in Jackson, Mississippi doing his master's, gave up temporarily his master's program and came to Pikeville to look after and be with other 2 children to stabilize the home situation. So we know what it takes to have a sick child to be sent away to different centers. So this has been my dream for 36 years, to provide expanded care and specialty care in the area for the children. Today, the dream come true with the help of our leaders, our CEO, Donovan Blackburn, Assistant CEO, Dr. Crum, CFO, Michelle Hagee, Legal Officer, Eric Blackburn, COO, Kansas Justice, And who else I missed? Michelle Rainey, CNO, and Melissa Thacker, the COO of the clinic and programs. And all the board of directors were fully in support of this idea, inspired, and was motivating to establish this entity. And thank you, one and all, for being here. We're so glad we could celebrate this special day with our dear family and friends. And one of them came all the way from California, from Los Angeles, and a couple of them drove from Atlanta. And my son in Chicago with his family, my oldest son, and my daughter-in-law come with all the 4 children from Durham, North Carolina. My youngest son came with his 3 children and wife from Raleigh, North Carolina. And my brother from Washington, D.C., and my 2 dearest friends came from Pittsburgh. And my other friends from here, Pikeville, 4 of them are here with us to celebrate. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak from my heart. Thank you.
Dr. Jyothi, thank you for those kind and inspiring words. You know, Dr. Jyothi mentioned the contribution, and a contribution isn't always in how many zeros. It has a lot to do about your commitment and your good name. It took the board of directors 2 minutes, literally, when I asked them about the naming right, because they understood the value that came along with the Mettu name as it relates to pediatric care. So your name and that value and what it will represent is worth more than the zeros anybody could put on a check. Thank you. At this time, we're going to host the unveiling of the new pediatric science. We're going to ask all the grandkids to come up. Dr. Jyothi, RV, come on up too. We want to get some nice pictures here. Tell me when you're situated. And what we're going to do is I'm going to ask the entire audience, everybody out there, please. We're going to count down from 5 to 0 here in just a minute. We'll start at 5 and go to 0. When we hit 0, all the kids will hit the button, and behind us you'll see the black covering. The sign will then be unveiled. No, face this way for right now, and then we'll let them flip around. That way we can get photos. Everybody, let's take all the photos first, and then we'll start the countdown. So anybody wants a photo or a picture, go ahead and take it. After we drop the sign, then we'll give you another opportunity to take another photo with the sign in the background as well. Good? Okay, here we go. We're going to count from 5. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hit the button. Ladies and gentlemen, guests, I give you Dr. R.V. and Jyothi Mettu's Children's Hospital. We're so proud. Let's keep the kids up here. Let's get a couple of photos with the sign in the back, and then we'll dismiss.
Hello. Thank you for being here today. What an exciting day this is, and what a great turnout for this. Would you, if you wouldn't mind, just bow your heads as we have a prayer. Dear Lord, today we want to thank you. In you we live and move and have our being. And God, you have created us with the capacity to plan, to dream, to build, and Lord, to be able to give to others. And all these are things that were necessary in order for this to come together, and even more. And so we thank you for these blessings, Lord, that you bring our way. We thank you for the people in our lives that are able to help us and in our dreams to make these dreams become a reality. And so I pray today for the leaders, the visionaries, the work that is being done that will continue. And we pray for all that is happening here today, Lord, as we think about the Cancer Center, we think about the Children's Hospital, and the many lives that will be impacted from this. We give you thanks and we pray for your blessings. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podium, Pikeville Medical Center President and CEO Donovan Blackburn.
You know, I'm extremely humbled by the fact that this room is packed. You know, this is a huge day for Pikeville Medical Center and really the region and our partners. So I cannot thank you all enough for being here today and sharing this momentous moment with us. It will be, when we're finished, you'll understand that it's really historic. So again, as the opening, thank you from the bottom of our hearts on behalf of Pikeville Medical Center, the Board of Directors, and the 3,000 strong that I get the opportunity every day to come to work to represent. So again, thank you. I'd like to just take a couple of moments to, and I'd ask you to hold your applause to the end, and then we have some special guests that will be speaking that we'll be announcing a little bit later. But I would like to take just a moment to recognize several dignitaries. As you can see, the room is packed, and it's always sometimes difficult. I got bright lights in my face, so I can't see out in the audience very good. But if there's somebody I have missed, please, again, if you're an elected official or represent an organization that represents the people of our great state, let us know so that I can acknowledge you as well. Again, we have some distinguished speakers on the panel that we'll introduce here in a little bit. I would start out by saying also our governor will be here. His plane is running a little bit late, but he'll walk in a little bit later, and he'll be towards the back of the program as well, so we're looking forward to his remarks. With that said, I would like to recognize the following dignitaries. Again, hold your applause to the end. We have Karen Kelly here, who's the district director with Congressman Hal Rogers' office and has been a dear friend of mine for many, many years, also a fellow Pike Countyan. We have Adam Rice here. Excuse me. We have my good friends, our representatives, Angie Hatton. There's Angie. Angie, it's always a pleasure to see you. We have Representative Ashley Tackett Lafferty. Welcome again. We have John Blanton, Representative John Blanton. We have Representative Norma McKirk. Yeah, I got it out. Norma, where you at? I saw you a minute ago. We have City Mayor of Pikeville, Jimmy Carter. Mayor, welcome. We have with us also Sam Wright is here, good friend. We have the distinguished Governor Paul Patton and my First Lady, who I love dearly, Judy Patton. Glad to see you all out again. Governor, welcome. We have a great partner here with us today, Tammy Riley with the Pike County Health Department, who's been a valuable partner in the fight against COVID. So we appreciate our partnership. Tammy, welcome. We have another dear friend with my friend Senator McConnell's office, Donna McClure. Donna's here. There she is. Donna, welcome. We have employee and Mayor of the City of Coal Run, Mayor Andrew Scott, with us today. Andrew, you better be here. Just joking. We have Pikeville City Manager. We have Philip Ellswick that's here. Philip. We have Pikeville City Commissioner Allison Powers here. We have a good friend, and by the way, at 5 o'clock we have a great announcement also over at the University of Pikeville's nursing school. So Dr. Burton Webb is here with us. We have Ben Hill here with the Big Sandy Area Development District. Ben's known Ben a long time, good friend. We have Josh Ball here with SOAR. Josh, welcome. Very honored to have Cabinet Secretary Rebecca Goodman here, who will be also speaking. We had some great dialogue a little bit earlier. And then we also have Justin Adams here with our AML director, and they've brought a host of their staff. Their staff, I think, is out in the audience. If you don't mind, if you raise your hand to be recognized, I'd appreciate it, because they have been absolutely outstanding partners at so many different levels. So with that said, also, we have several board of directors here for Pikeville Medical Center, and a lot of today's announcements would not be possible without them. So if you're here, would you please stand or raise your hand to acknowledge yourselves? Come on, I see you. A little bit higher. You can do better than that. Thank you. You know, I'm going to I purposely left a couple of people off because of our partnership and some of the things that we're going to be talking about a little bit later this evening with our nursing school specifically. But, you know, my good friend Reed Atkins, the superintendent, Reed's here as well. There you are, Reed. Has been a great partner and has really allowed us to do some things a little bit different. And we're going to be acknowledging and talking about part of the reason that we're here today, which is the Mettus. We'll introduce them a little bit later. And then one of the announcements that, again, we'll talk about, I don't want to steal a lot of the thunder, has been, there's Marie Childers and Norma. I introduced Norma a minute ago. So, dear friends. But again, a lot of what we're going to be disclosing today wouldn't be possible without partners, friends, visionaries, and I can go on and on. And what I'm going to, at the end of my program, label as heroes. But my good friend, Dr. Mark Newman, is also here, and he's, again, brought quite a few of his staff members. And Mark, welcome, and we greatly appreciate our partnership. You know, today is anybody else, and again, I can't see out, Philip, I had you on the list. I apologize. I got to the representatives, and I saw him outside anyway, but I do sincerely apologize. You know, Philip is not only a wonderful senator that represents our district, his district very, very well, but he's been a great friend, and I'm honored to call you my friend. My apologies. They had just separated between the representatives, and I've passed over, so I'll take blame. Anybody else I can't see? I did. I did get John. He was at the bottom of the list, and I brought him to the top. So I just forgot Philip, my good friend. I won't live that one down for a while. With that said, you know, today again is a day of celebration. A lot of wonderful things happening in our community, and I talk about partners, and I talk about prestige and names. This isn't just about the announcement of the Cancer Center and the Children's Hospital. Over the last several years, I've had the great honor, as I said, I've served in this position of president and CEO, and having a wonderful board that is very progressive and forward-thinking. So we've made investments in areas such as our corner market, bringing services to our patients in the downstairs level 2. We've made investments in bringing Starbucks into the hospital, which is a great patient pleaser as well as employee pleaser. We got to find more baristas. Everybody in the hospital knows what I mean by that. We've made significant investments in our hotel, our outpatient pharmacy, and we're honored that yesterday we were able to make another announcement. I want to first thank Kansas Justice, our Chief Operating Officer, and James Glass, who is over our retail division. James is getting ready to take a new assignment, but they were very instrumental in this next announcement. So yesterday we opened up under our for-profit business, our newest business, which is Scrubs and More. This is our new scrub shop, which has much more than scrubs. It has a huge and wide selection of scrubs and jackets and shoes and stockings and stethoscopes and so much more. So our partnership is with Cherokee. Cherokee is a very well-known brand when it comes to scrubs. We have now scrubs on hand, so our employees are able to go actually and buy straight off the rack, have monogrammed our emblem on the side of them. And then also those that we don't have, we're able to traditionally now get within 3 to 5 days. Now that's important because a lot of our staff was having to wait 2 and 3 months when you're going through a different outlet and buying through a different retailer. So we're very honored to be able to open this. Now I say it's a new business, so that means we created new jobs, a new service line. We're putting money back into our community, and we're creating a huge convenience for not only our employees but also for the market because it is a retail center and it's open to the public, not just to our employees. So our employees are they're entitled to a percentage off. We got a great new website, but that new facility opened yesterday, and we welcome that to our Pikeville Medical Center family. So I'll have some additional remarks here in a little bit, but with that said, sit back and enjoy the program, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, everyone.
Now, please welcome Pikeville Medical Center Board of Director Chairman, Mr. Ron Burchett.
Thank you. Going back just a little bit to Starbucks, one of the first conversations that I had with Donovan after I became chairman of the board, I said, Donovan, we got to see if we can't get a Starbucks here in the hospital or close by. He said, I'm already on it. He and I are big fans of Starbucks. Well, another big day for Pikeville Medical Center and the Leonard Lawson Cancer Center. The Leonard Lawson Cancer Center first opened in June of 1996, or just 3 years after I came on the board here. Since then, we have seen tremendous growth and need for expansion in cancer services in our region. We have the expertise and leading-edge technology to fight cancer, staffed by expert oncologists, surgical specialists, nurses, pharmacists, patient navigators, and many other highly trained healthcare professionals. We have the ability to provide full-service cancer treatment and follow-up care. The Leonard Lawson Cancer Center is one of a select few cancer centers in Kentucky to hold accreditation from the Commission on Cancer with commendations. Many cancer patients in our region have no choice but to travel outside of our region and many times outside of our state for treatment. Today's groundbreaking will change that. Patients will receive advanced treatment close to home, which will support our mountain families and our local economy. The funding will allow the Leonard Lawson Cancer Center to increase by 7,000 square feet on the 11th floor of the PMC clinic building with 24 new private chemotherapy suites that will be constructed alongside the specialized pharmacy designed specifically for the cancer center. Expansion is necessary to provide more advanced cancer care and to save even more lives. This is a monumental step toward the next generation of cancer care here at Pikeville Medical Center. Thank you for being a part of this event and for your support.
Now, if you would like to direct your attention to the screen, as PMC Chief Medical Officer and Assistant CEO, Dr. Aaron Crum, will discuss Pikeville Medical Center's comprehensive pediatric initiative.
In years past, children and families in the region have traveled long distances to receive the pediatric specialty care they need. This often has a tremendous negative impact on finances, employment, and educational opportunities for those that are the most vulnerable. Having or being a child with a significant illness is difficult in the best of circumstances. Pikeville Medical Center's goal is to provide advanced pediatric specialty care right here at home. At Pikeville Medical Center, we are dedicated to providing access to quality health care to the patients in our region through every stage of life. At PMC, we have provided high-quality general pediatric services for many years. Our pediatric services have grown significantly over the past 3 years to include opening the region's first and only autism center, constructing a brand new pediatric wing in our emergency department, launching our new telehealth platform in the county school system with Healthy at School, doubling the size of our neonatal intensive care unit, and opening Eastern Kentucky's first children's hospital. The Pediatric Initiative started with our Level 2 Advanced Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, which allows us to offer a regional referral source for the hospitals in the region and allows us to keep patients with complex problems of pregnancy home. PMC's highly skilled team provides around-the-clock care and state-of-the-art equipment to our youngest and most vulnerable patients. In early 2020, we doubled the size of our NICU from 8 to 16 beds, allowing us to deliver specialized medical treatment quickly and efficiently to newborns as early as 28 weeks gestation. Our next pediatric venture was the Appalachian Valley Autism Center, or the AVA Center. In May of 2020, PMC opened the AVA Center, the first comprehensive facility of its kind in our region, offering applied behavior analysis, speech, occupational, and feeding therapies for children on the autism spectrum, initially creating 52 new jobs. Almost immediately after opening its doors, the AVA Center was faced with the need for expansion. It is now a 4-story, 27,000 square foot ocean-themed oasis featuring autism-friendly spaces with close attention to texture, acoustics, and lighting conditions. The structure consists of multiple learning rooms, a specially designed gym, and a special sensory stimulation room. We have a caring, dedicated staff of registered behavioral technicians and board-certified behavior analysts that strive every day to support the best possible quality of life for children with autism and their families, and to help children with autism reach their full potential. Through applied behavior analysis, our staff gets to know learners one-on-one, helps them build their skills, and helps them to lead a successful life. As we increase our staff, the program will expand from our current 54 learners to 96 learners within the next 4 months. We recently announced that we will be expanding the AVA Center by opening a satellite center in Floyd County in 2022 on our urgent care campus. This will allow us to grow by another 16 staff members while taking care of an additional 24 learners. Our emergency department is part of the Pediatric Initiative also. The ED is a pediatric-ready emergency room as certified by the Kentucky Emergency Medical Services for Children program. Being recognized as pediatric ready demonstrates our commitment to enhancing emergency care services for children in the region. We are proud to be one of only 4 hospitals in the state of Kentucky to receive this certification. The PMC Emergency Department is also the first in the state to become a certified autism center by the International Board of Credentialing and Continuing Education Standards. This allowed individuals with autism that have different needs related to communication and pain perception to be treated appropriately. As another part of our pediatric initiative, we recognize that the traditional adult-focused hospital experience is often distressing for a child, especially a trip to the emergency room. To help our young patients feel more at ease during these difficult times and provide more child-centered care, we constructed a new pediatric wing in our emergency department. This wing features a jungle theme with each room portraying a different animal, as well as a kid-friendly waiting room with games and toys to help put the child at ease while they're waiting. We greatly appreciate our partnership with Kentucky Power, who, with a generous grant, assisted us in the development of this wonderful project. To better serve our patients and provide easier access to care, we recently opened the new Urgent Care and Family Wellness Center on Cassidy Boulevard. This facility conveniently houses PMC's outpatient pediatricians, several OB/GYN providers, telehealth services, and family practice. This new facility allows for easier access to comprehensive outpatient care and less anxiety for the children, featuring separate sick and well waiting areas, on-site x-ray and lab services, urgent care, and convenient hours. The new design of the pediatric area has a lot of the same characteristics of the AVA Center and Children's Hospital to put our young patients at ease during a stressful time. Each room is colorful and character-themed, has room activities, kid-friendly programming on our TVs, and much more. PMC partners with our local school systems to offer the PMC Healthy at School telehealth program. This program enables children's healthcare needs to be addressed by a PMC medical provider while they are at school. Through a partnership with the Pike County and Pikeville Independent School Systems, students who are attending in-person classes and become ill will have the opportunity to be seen virtually by a PMC medical provider. In most cases, parents or guardians can pick their sick child up from school, pick up any necessary prescription medications from a pharmacy, and go directly home without having to go to a provider's office. Perhaps the most exciting addition to our pediatric services is the Mettu Children's Hospital, which will become the first children's hospital in eastern Kentucky. The project will fill the region's gap in medical treatment by adding a much-needed children's health care facility. PMC dedicated a significant section of hospital property for our new children's hospital. This project created 13 outpatient exam rooms that will be used for pediatric specialty care, telehealth, and pediatric hospitalist patients. In addition, there are 10 state-of-the-art inpatient pediatric rooms, 8 of which are able to serve as intensive care unit or regular beds. We have created a pediatric hospitalist program to care for admitted pediatric patients as well. We remain dedicated to providing high-quality health care to our pediatric patients. This new facility will allow us to provide an even higher level of service to our region. We believe families should not have to travel hours away to receive treatment for their children. This wonderful facility was built by vision and partnerships. We greatly appreciate the support of Governor Andy Beshear, Congressman Hal Rogers, the AML Selection Committee, the Appalachian Regional Commission, and Drs. RV and Jyothi Mettu for their financial support in making this dream become a reality while advocating for the children in our region. Without them, many of these projects would not have been a reality. We are proud of our partnerships, achievements, and expansion in pediatric services that we have accomplished over the past 3 years. We also appreciate our previously announced partnership with Kentucky Children's Hospital at the University of Kentucky. We thank Dr. Mark Newman and his team for their support, leadership, and continued friendship. Kentucky Children's Hospital will play a vital role in our specialty clinic and the overall growth of our program. To talk a little more about our partnership and plan, I would like to invite Dr. Mark Newman, Executive Vice President of Health Affairs at the University of Kentucky, to the podium for a few comments. Please give a warm Pikeville Medical Center welcome to Dr. Newman.
Thank you very much and good afternoon. I'm excited to be here to highlight some of our continuing milestones in this partnership between Pikeville Medical Center and UK University of Kentucky Children's Hospital. As a native Kentuckian, I have deep roots in the Commonwealth, and I know and understand, both on a personal and a professional level, the role that Pikeville Medical Center and UK Healthcare play in serving the needs of this state. For nearly 25 years, Kentucky Children's Hospital has been Central and Eastern Kentucky's leader in providing acute and subspecialty care for children from our pediatric needs. Looking at our Level 1, again, Pediatric Trauma Center, our Level 4, Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, our Pediatric Intensive Care Unit, and much more. With that in mind, we've come together with the Pikeville Medical Center to develop new resources to care for children in eastern Kentucky and the Central Appalachian region. Through this collaboration, Kentucky Children's Hospital is now offering appointments at Pikeville Medical Center, and again, in 2 new areas, one in pediatric cardiology to help children with heart issues, and also pediatric pulmonary clinic to help children with asthma as well as other breathing disorders. Then beginning in 2022, we will roll out multiple other specialty clinics for convenience of our littlest patients and their families. We understand that to make an impact on healthcare in the state, we have to work together. We cannot do it alone. And to that, we are stronger when we work together. With that in mind, this is just the first of many fruitful collaborations to come with Pikeville Medical Center. Our joint pediatric leadership working team, comprising leadership from both organizations will continue to work together to develop new projects and programs to help our pediatric patients, utilizing both telemedicine capabilities as well as in-person clinics. This cooperative effort was born from a desire to improve health care for children in this region while allowing them and their families to stay closer to home. Before I'd finish, I want to thank the Pikeville Medical Center for inviting us to participate in this exciting ribbon cutting and grand opening event, and to recognize just a few key people who have helped make this happen. I want to thank Dr. Aaron Crum and his team for their hospitality. It's always great to come to Pikeville. I want to thank, on our side, Dr. Carol Steltenkamp. Thank you for all that you do for UK healthcare and for your continued commitment for the well-being of Kentucky children. And I also want to congratulate the Mettu family for their commitment. Congratulations. And last but not least, I want to thank Governor Beshear, Congressman Rogers, for your continued service to the Commonwealth and for your support for these healthcare initiatives that serve the needs of the next generation. Thank you very much.
Mark, Dr. Newman, we appreciate the partnership. I'll say it again. You know, this partnership started actually way before COVID, when we were invited to come to UK to talk about autism and how we could partner together to grow BCBAs and RBTs and how we can really help the eastern part of the state develop a program. But it turned into much more than that. It turned into several roundtable discussions. Dr. Crum on our behalf took over a leadership role on our end to work with Dr. Newman's staff to develop what you will see today and what you will see in the years to come. There's no doubt that when you walk the facility downstairs on the second floor, you are going to be impressed. You're going to see our logos married together in a spirit of cooperation and in a spirit of being able to help the youth of our region. I couldn't be more proud, and I could not be more thankful for your partnership, my friend. And when we talk about partnerships, we're in this unfinished area, and we manage about 1.7 million square feet in 47 different locations with 3,000 employees throughout eastern Kentucky. We chose this location to hold this event for a few reasons. One, out of the 1.7 million square feet, this area represents 7,000 square feet. Like every vision, it started not only with vision, but it started with partnerships and people that were willing to roll up their sleeves and to make a difference. Leonard Lawson was one such man. Our cancer center is named after his honor because of his commitment and his contribution. I'm proud to call him my friend, and I appreciate the continued support of our cancer program in eastern Kentucky. We have been able to expand our program by moving our cancer center that was off campus onto campus on the 10th floor below us. And the 7,000 square feet that still remains unfinished, thanks again to the partnership of the governor, Congressman Rogers, and the AML committee, we will begin very shortly a new infusion center like none in the state of Kentucky. At the times when people are at their absolute lowest and they need to feel the warmth and security of the care that they deserve, Pikeville Medical Center is going to be able to deliver that thanks to our partners in the room that you are now standing in. And we're very, very appreciative of our partners. And again, I said earlier, we'll talk about their heroic contribution to why we're here today. And then as we talk about the Children's Hospital as well, and Dr. Crum did a great job with the video outlining all the investments that we've made over the last 3 years. We're very proud of that, Rocky. And we're proud of the partnership. We're proud of, again, the same people over and over that I'll keep mentioning their names. It's Governor Beshear, who is a health governor, who understands the need for care. It's Hal Rogers, who started this journey back in 2018, Karen, when I traveled to Somerset and he opened his doors and said, let's do something unique in Pikeville and eastern Kentucky to serve the youth of that area. And because of that, we had ARC, AML, and private donations step up to make a difference to the youth and to those that we serve. One such family, and I wanted the opportunity to introduce, we spent a little bit of time downstairs unveiling the new Mettu sign. But one such family are dear friends of mine, RV and Jyothi Mettu. They have made a considerable, not only donation from the standpoint of monetary, but they've put their name on this product. Their name and what it represents will draw people throughout, parents, kids, grandkids throughout our region to this facility. It's my great honor to invite RV Mettu to the stand for a couple remarks.
Good afternoon. It is a great day to celebrate with our guest of honor, Governor Andy Beshear. This is a wonderful day. I personally want to extend my appreciation and gratitude for the Governor Andy Beshear to making time to be here in spite of his very, very busy schedule. Thank you, Governor. Jyothi and I are blessed to be a part of the journey at Pikeville Medical Center in the Children's Hospital. Thank you. I want to give my special thanks to the President and CEO of the Pikeville Medical Center and our good friend, Donovan Blackburn. Donovan, thank you very much. Thank you. I want to thank Chairman of the Board, Ron Burchett, and rest of all the board members for giving us the opportunity to be a part of this journey. Thank you, all the board members. I want to thank all the dignitaries, elected officials to come here today. It is an honor for this hospital, for me, for everybody, to be everybody here. Thank you all. The team at the Pikeville Medical Center who started this whole project has been working very, very hard for the last few years. They have been working tirelessly to make this happen, event happen. I want to thank you, all of you. I can't tell everybody's names, but I want to thank each one of you working so hard to make this event and make this project a success. Thank you all. Thank you for allowing me to be part of this opportunity, me and my wife, Jyothi. We both thank you all. Donovan, thank you. Governor, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mettu. Now, please direct your attention to the screen for a message from Appalachian Regional Commission Federal Co-Chair, Gayle Manchin.
Hello. As co-chair of the Appalachian Regional Commission, it is my honor to congratulate everyone at Pikeville Medical Center on the opening of PMC Children's Hospital. ARC is proud to have provided a grant through our POWER program that was a nice piece of the puzzle in helping this project come to fruition. At the end of the day, ARC's work is all about our Appalachian people. beginning with the region's youngest residents. And we believe that all Appalachians deserve access to modern medical advancements. This new opportunity for pediatric care in eastern Kentucky will provide much-needed relief for families who will no longer have to worry about leaving the region in order to receive quality health care for their children and families. When you prioritize the health of the next generation of Appalachians, everyone benefits. One of the significant changes that ARC has seen over the past 20 years is the growth of the healthcare sector as a major part of our local communities. Through the work of our grantees, including the Pikeville Medical Center, rural communities across Appalachian are being equipped to be hubs for healthy communities, whether by hiring medical professionals to coordinate healthcare resources in meaningful ways, expanding the deployment of telehealth services, or, as with the PMC Children's Hospital, leading the charge in developing new facilities and infrastructure to ensure that when it comes to our health, our Appalachian residents not only survive, but thrive. Thank you, Pikeville Medical Center, for being at the heart of rural health care in eastern Kentucky, and for all the work you do for all Appalachians of all ages every day. And again, congratulations from ARC on this monumental achievement. Thank you.
Please give a warm welcome to U.S. Congressman Hal Rogers, District Director Karen Kelly.
I would be remiss if I didn't begin by saying, Donovan, you're really fortunate that you planned this event for today, given the state tournament tomorrow. I passed the buses leaving town, and my guess is by the time tomorrow rolls around, this room could have been empty. So go Pikeville, go Belfry, go Johnson Central. I didn't miss anybody, did I? All right. So we're cheering our Eastern Kentucky kids on. It's a really exciting time. Well, once again, Pikeville is raising the bar higher and higher. For the second time this year, we're celebrating not one, but two projects. Congressman Rogers was honored to be here in May with the governor for the ribbon-cutting celebrations for the Heart and Vascular Institute and the Appalachian Valley Autism AVA Center. Some businesses were forced to close their doors or downsize during the pandemic, but not Pikeville Medical Center. You found a way to expand operations again, doing things that have never been done in the mountains. And I'm honored to be here to celebrate in my home county. Today, Congressman Rogers asked me to be here in his stead as he battles through the mess in Washington on our behalf. He is protecting federal funding for our rural hospitals, protecting funding for the Appalachian Regional Commission, and creating new sources of funding for our coal communities, like the Abandoned Mine Lands program that has helped fund this project here today. And Governor and Secretary Goodman, he certainly thanks you for being such good stewards of that funding and selecting great projects. Thanks to his leadership, you can rest assured that Eastern Kentucky will never be left out of the federal funding process, and he makes no apologies for securing additional dollars for our small communities. At a time when every state is battling for funds, it isn't easy to secure big dollars for Appalachia, Kentucky. It takes a powerhouse like Congressman Rogers to make a way when sometimes there seems to be no way. And that's exactly what he continues to do. And let me say this loud and clear. Pikeville Medical Center has earned and is worthy of every dollar that has come down the pipe from Washington, D.C. This is what good leadership looks like, and we need to celebrate that. The Congressman asked me to come here today to say thank you for being such outstanding stewards for the funding that's been secured. You're putting that funding to work for the people of our region in the absolute best possible way. He's incredibly proud of the difference that you're making in the lives of the people that we jointly serve. PMC is transforming the landscape of healthcare in the mountains, eliminating the challenges of driving hours for specialized care, eliminating the stress and costs of overnight stays, and ultimately working to eliminate our overwhelming long-time health disparities and mortality rates for things like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. You're creating hope for families when they need it most. You're improving the quality of life for individuals facing a difficult diagnosis. In addition to new medical services, you're also giving healthcare professionals a place to work and to raise their families right here at home without having to move off into a bigger city. And that has been Congressman Rogers' dream from day one, to build the colleges and businesses that we need to keep our best and brightest here at home. As you know, it takes so much more than funding to produce meaningful change. It is not Washington, D.C. or Frankfurt that will make Pikeville great. It's the local leaders on the ground, like Donovan Blackburn, who's reimagining how great this city and community can be. So Donovan, thank you. It's leaders who are tired of settling for health care options 2 hours away. It's leaders who say enough is enough. It's leaders who say, why not build a children's hospital and a state-of-the-art cancer center in the heart of the mountains of Eastern Kentucky? Why not us? Time after time, the people of Eastern Kentucky have proven that we have the ingenuity to work through tough chores, and we have what it takes to lead during the times of despair. In Pikeville, you're doing it once again. Congressman Rogers often says that our people are the most resilient folks in the country, and he's right. Just look at these healthcare workers who've stood on the front lines of the COVID pandemic, working around the clock through blood, sweat, and tears to save as many lives as possible, and at times with less resources than other parts of the country. The most inspiring people of these last 2 years have easily been our doctors and our nurses and healthcare forces. And Congressman Rogers wants to applaud you for your dedication and sacrifice day in and day out. These new facilities are truly a testament to our healthcare workforce. You have proven that we have talented medical professionals right here at home who offer the very best possible health care for our people. On behalf of Congressman Rogers, I simply want to say that we believe in you. You have what it takes to meet the greatest challenges before us, and that's why the future of our region remains bright. It is an honor to celebrate another milestone with you today. Thank you for all that you do, and Godspeed.
Please welcome to the podium Kentucky Energy and Environment Cabinet Secretary Rebecca Goodman.
Thank you very much. I'm a little vertically challenged here, so let me make sure you can hear me. So I want to say good afternoon to the governor. What a beautiful day we all picked for this. Donovan, thank you and your team. It's a real pleasure to be here today to celebrate a journey that actually began several years ago and reflects the great skill, the hard work that Donovan and his team have put into this in developing both the Cancer Center and the Children's Hospital. Those efforts continue to make Eastern Kentucky a healthier place for our most precious resources, our people. By providing quality care to patients who come from a much larger geographic area and providing new career opportunities, this new Cancer Center and Children's Hospital will deliver on two of the governor's highest priorities, improving Kentuckians' health and improving their quality of life. Donovan and I were talking earlier, this doesn't just improve healthcare, this lifts a community up to see a facility like that in so many different ways. And that's why this particular two projects, I guess, are so important to this community. Our mission at the Energy and Environment Cabinet is to improve the life of all Kentuckians by protecting our land, air, and water resources, to help families connect with nature while preserving the Commonwealth's natural heritage, and to support innovative, resilient, and sustainable energy solutions that bring economic benefits to the Commonwealth. I'm happy to say that the Cancer Center and the Children's Hospital not only will make area children healthier and bring jobs to the region, but the buildings themselves are engineered to have a small carbon footprint. Both the Children's Hospital and the Leonard Lawson Cancer Center expansion have focused on energy efficiency. The hospital has a unique and efficient system designed to deliver safe and germ-free disposal of waste while minimizing infection risk and minimizing the environmental impact. In addition, there's an LED lighting replacement program throughout the entire hospital. As you've heard tonight, this facility would not be here today without the combined efforts of many people. I'd like to give a shout out to our staff at the Division of Abandoned Mine Lands who work with this AMLR program, and they've helped make this day possible. I'd also like to acknowledge, if we have our DNR Deputy Commissioner David Fields is here, and our new Director of the Abandoned Mine Lands Division, Justin Adams, is here as well. Since the AMLR program's inception in 2016, we've had 63 projects in 23 counties selected for this funding. The program has generated 143 jobs in this area, including 83 new positions at Dashcore Aluminum in Perry County, and more than 258 workers trained at the East Kentucky Advanced Manufacturing Institute and at the Hazard Community and Technical College. Once completed, these 63 projects that we have funded have projected more than 2,800 new jobs for this region. Just last month, Governor Beshear announced more than $10 million in AMLR program funds for 11 new economic development projects in 11 eastern Kentucky counties. When completed, these projects in Martin, Letcher, Floyd, Leslie, Knox, Knott, Owsley, Boyd, Pike, Perry, and Clay counties will allow, among other things, for the cold storage of bulk apples, the purchase of a CT scanner and mammogram equipment, expansion of the Leslie County Recreational Facility, the construction of cabins at the Sag Hollow Golf Club, the purchase and renovation of a diesel mechanic shop, and the design of a parking garage and convention center for the city of Ashland. Although our funding this year didn't go as far as we wanted, we're looking forward to more robust funding next year and the opportunity to continue to serve these eastern Kentucky communities. But in closing, these two facilities and other projects that are yet in the pipeline are proof that the right vision and the right people to make that vision happen can make Kentucky a healthier, more prosperous place to live. And I thank you and congratulate you today.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please now stand and give a warm welcome to the podium, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear.
All right. All right. Thank you. How good does today feel? Doesn't it? Think about not only how exciting, but how profound what's happening today is. We are in the midst of a pandemic, and we are increasing access to health care right here in Pike County. I am excited to be here, following the lead and happily in the shadows of an amazing Eastern Kentucky Governor and First Lady, Paul and Judy Patton. And proud to be joined by 4 of our great legislators, where together we have shown, especially at the end of the last session, that we can come together and do important things for our families here in Eastern Kentucky and elsewhere, from clean drinking water to broadband to rebuilding schools. I look forward to working with you in this next session to do great things. Thank you all for being here. And I am thrilled to be back in Pikeville. It feels like every time that I get to be here that Donovan invites us, it means another family won't have to travel hours to get the services that they need. It means that today the children of Pike County and the region, Reed, that you serve so well, are going to be able to get more and better care, to be healthier, to have brighter futures right here. And while I know that that wouldn't be possible without a number of things I'm going to talk about, the health of our children or our people at large right now would not be possible without incredible nurses, doctors, every single person who works at this and every other healthcare facility across Kentucky. I cannot tell you how much we love you. I cannot tell you how grateful we are for you. I can't quantify the thousands of people that are still alive today walking around because of you, and we have asked so much. We've asked you to test, to vaccinate, to treat, to hold hands, to guide us through this. We love you. Thank you so much for everything that you have done. You know, I'm thinking back about being able to visit in the spring for the ribbon cutting for the Heart and Vascular Institute expansion and for the new location of the AVA Center, the Appalachian Valley Autism Center. It was during that presentation that while I knew we were doing a great thing, that a parent from your region, given a testimonial, talked about how she had been told that the best thing that she could do for the health of her child was to move. That is wrong. Because of that center, parents won't hear that. And because of what we're doing here today, your people will not be deprived of health care for our most important patients. You know, when we think about a children's hospital, you know, it takes me back. It takes me back to how much we, Brittany and I, relied, whether it was on our pediatricians or others. If you need to know how important this is, just remember the first fever that your first child spiked. Do you remember how scared you were? I do. I just had a friend whose first child had their first fever, and I could feel it again. It has been over 12 years since I went through that experience. But I still remember the calm voice, the understanding, the patience, and knowing that there were people that cared about that child, that cared about us, and that we're going to get us through that first moment. And of course, my first visit in getting out during COVID, when we started traveling more, was right here, August of 2020, with the groundbreaking for the Children's Hospital. That was our first trip outside of COVID, and we were excited to break ground on the expansion of the Leonard Lawson Cancer Center. So I am beyond excited to be here today to continue to see access to health care, a basic human right, continue to grow right here in Pikeville and at this hospital. So I want to thank, with all of my heart, the doctors, Mettu, for all that you have done, for the example that you've shown, for putting your name on this incredible facility, for bringing your great family out here today. I know we're all supported by our families. Let's give them a round of applause. And I think that what we see here today is also a reflection of what's going on in this city and in this county. Every time I get to come, and Rocky would tell you that we're in this region more than any other region in the state. It's new business, new restaurants, something new in your downtown. See, I have belief and I have faith that this is a community on the move. And this employer, 3,000 strong, is such a big part of that. Just think about what 3,000 employees mean. When we made that Ford announcement, I may talk about that in a minute, it's going to make Kentucky the electric vehicle battery capital of the world. It came with an astonishing and record-breaking 5,000 jobs. This facility, this hospital, 3,000 of our families rely on. Thank you so much for... You know, there have been times, moments in our history, moments where we stand at the cusp of prosperity, where the mountains have been left out, where this region has been left out. whether it was access to certain parts of healthcare, whether it was that next generation of jobs, whether it was being a part of a changing energy or other economy. For far too often, Eastern Kentucky has been left out. I'm here to tell you that that will never, ever, ever happen while I'm governor. I'm committed to you. And I'm committed to you for a couple reasons. Number one, it's the right thing to do, right? The great lesson of COVID is that we are all connected, that we all matter, and we've got to lift up every single region to move forward. But the other reason is the guy who works just 2 offices down from me is Rocky Atkins. So Rocky comes into my office every morning, puts his hand on my shoulders, and he turns me east. Rocky, thank you for all you do for this region and for the administration. Our partnership with Pikeville Medical Center has been incredible. It has allowed the type of investments that you have seen because they have all been good investments. It's made it easier for Congressman Rogers, for myself, for Secretary Goodman to invest in you and in your people, and I am pretty positive that we are not done yet. Today, it's more than $9 million in total funding support for the expansion of the Cancer Center and the construction of the Children's Hospital here at Pikeville Medical Center. That funding through the AML program would not be here without the fight of Congressman Rogers. And let's give him at least one more round of applause he can hear in Washington, D.C. But I think in every grant, the dollars aren't given, they're earned. It's planning, it's meaning, it's doing the right thing, it's having the right people behind it, and it's being ready to move quickly. That's why I want to say congratulations, not just to Pikeville Medical Center and this entire region, but to all of your people that helped make this possible. You know, it's a special time to be expanding access in healthcare. I always believed it was a difference between right and wrong, but we learned in the pandemic it's the difference between life and death. You know, does every region of our state have enough beds? Does every region have the ability to house the ICU patients that they need? Do we have the equipment and the care in each region of our state to take care of our people? These are the questions we have been living and the challenges we've been facing in real time, and I'm proud that today is a day where you know that there's going to be more access right here in Eastern Kentucky. You know, for decades, your families had to drive 2 hours or more to get the type of care that you are going to see right here. We know that that not only is going to connect these patients with doctors in their own backyard and help them dream of what their futures can be, but we know more people are going to see a doctor or see a healthcare provider when it's needed. It gives us the chance to get healthier, to get more productive, and to truly march into our future. And I know today we're celebrating both the Children's Hospital and the work on the Cancer Center. We've all been touched. We've all been hurt by cancer. I remember being a 17-year-old boy and coming home and finding out that my dad was going to have some surgery. And he was either going to be okay or there was a chance that I'd go through college without him. I'm really proud of the treatment that he got that's let him not only be here with me, showing me what being a good dad is and being an amazing granddad, but to also be a great governor for the Commonwealth of Kentucky. And just recently, losing an aunt to this dreaded disease, condition, but her care was second to none. She got the most hope she could ever ask for. She got to live her remaining time in really special ways. And so to all of our practitioners who are going to be working in that expanded unit, thank you for the compassion you show, for what you do. I've lived through it pretty recently, and I can't thank you enough for the care you give to our families. And finally, I'm excited to be here because it is another statement on what's going on with our economy. Your largest employer continues to expand at a phenomenal rate. And it's a large part of what we're seeing all over this Commonwealth. You know, we've been living through a difficult, dark moment of COVID, but I'm here to tell you we're also moving into an incredibly bright, optimistic future. One where the impediments that have held us back no longer exist. One where we will never be a flyover state ever again. One where no one is ever going to be able to look down their nose at us ever again. And one where everybody's going to be sure that if they keep making fun of our accents, we're going to come steal their jobs too. Put simply, we're on a roll. We have announced this year a record-breaking $10.3 billion of new investment here in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. And we're not done yet. Governor, we think December, we're going to add 5 to 10% more on top of that figure. It is a truly exciting time. And my commitment is that no one gets left out. That if we are at that cusp of a new era of prosperity, and I feel it in my bones, that we make sure Eastern Kentucky is included. That we get this moment in history right for every single part of our Commonwealth. That we ensure good jobs exist, hope exists, opportunity exists in every part of Kentucky, because I believe that while sometimes we feel a little bit different, we all dream the same dream. And that's the dream of every parent and of every grandparent, that our kids and grandkids will never have to leave this state or the region they're from because every opportunity isn't available to them. That's what we're celebrating here today. That's what we're seeing across this Commonwealth. This is our time. Our time is here. Our future is now. I want to thank Pikeville Medical Center and every single one of you all for being a big part of it. Let's grasp our destiny as leaders here in Kentucky. Thank you all. Right now.
Come on up. You know, as the governor said, and Governor Karen, Congressman Rogers, Secretary, we do talk about these partnerships. Rocky, and we thank you for all that you've done. And Rocky's always at the end of a phone anytime that we need him, and he's worked diligently and hard in so many different ways, and we appreciate it. I can't help to get emotional on a couple of different levels, as I just heard the governor as well. It's a unique time. You know, our staff, Governor, as every other hospital, Dr. Newman across the state, are tired. Our people have worked diligently and they worked hard in the name of health care, but also they've made investments in other people by training, by allowing our staff to step up to help our communities. And all this while we're making smart investments thanks to our board of directors and people like the Mettus to continue our growth. The physicians in the room that represent both our cancer program and our pediatric program and all the support positions, I thank you. As we celebrate today's groundbreaking, we'll get ready to shovel sand here in just a moment, ceremonial sand, so that we can actually start the actual construction. There's been so many improvements with both our cancer program, thanks again to Leonard Lawson, thanks again to the Leonard Lawson Cancer Center, that we relocated our cancer center into a greatly improved area. We made access easier. We brought our laboratory up to the 11th floor and expanded it to make it easier for our cancer patients to get their draws. We created a new specialty pharmacy on the 11th floor so that it was right above the 10th floor, again, to bring the necessary drugs down to our cancer floor. We created and expanded our IR program by bringing in not one linear accelerator, Governor, but two. And with all these improvements, it took partnerships and friendships. It took a trip, again, to Somerset to meet with Congressman Hal Rogers. And during that trip, we sat back and we talked a little about the hospital, a little about the Ava Center, But what we really talked about was our grandkids, Karen, if you'll recall. Because that's what's dear to the people of this region, is our kids. They're a blessing. They're a gift from God. And what we do as a Christian organization, we have a responsibility. I had the honor also of recently attending with Dr. Newman an event in Frankfurt, Governor. You invited us to for the announcement of the new memorial, which both UK and Pikeville Medical Center was honored to be part of, and we appreciate the work that you've done and to acknowledge those that unfortunately have lost their life to this dreaded disease. But at the end of the program, my wife and I, as we went around and we shook hands, the governor touched my wife and myself as also, because his first words weren't, "How are you doing? What's going on?" His first words to us was, "How's Ava doing? My grandbaby." That's why we do this. And that's why this wonderful mascot is standing before me. It really is a story because there are so many kids that struggle, not just on the spectrum, but unfortunately we lead the nation in some health issues within our region. And we're addressing that. We're addressing it with investments, Secretary, like today. But we're also, as these kids enter our door and they're put into a sterile room, oftentimes they're scared. They're frightened. We've changed that. As you walk the corridor downstairs, Jody and RV, and Jody was a big part of the design, we're going to put our kids at ease. Meet my friend. This is why that we're honored today to present our new mascot for the Children's Hospital. Now, I would call them by name, or him by name, or her. I'm not quite sure yet. And there's a reason why. And we did this purposely, is that we wanted to introduce a new mascot, but we also wanted to introduce a contest for our staff. We're offering a $1,000 reward. We're giving every staff member the opportunity to submit the name of our new mascot. So you can log on to our new website. Well, it's on our workplace. You can enter the name by December the 10th. A committee will be selected, and we'll select the new name of him or her. And we'll make that announcement, and one of our wonderful employees will walk away $1,000 richer. So thank you. As I mentioned, we're going to break ground here in just a second. If you notice, too, the new logos on the side is wonderful. It's about both the Ava Center and the Mettu Children's Hospital logo. But the intent really is as our kids enter our facility, is to offer them as much ease as we possibly can. But we'll break ground in just a moment, and then after we break ground, we're going to go downstairs and cut the ribbon. And after we cut the ribbon, I will apologize, the room is tight down there where we're going to cut the ribbon, but we'll have a group that will come in, and we'll invite them down. And then after that, we've asked anybody that wants to stay around to please take a tour. I'm telling you, I was talking to the secretary a moment ago, and I agree with everything that she said. But what I also agree with is that the money that we spent wasn't just to create a product, but it's to create something special. Wait till you see what we have. I'm telling you, you're going to be blown away. We couldn't help. We had the opportunity with a lot of our pediatricians to tour it this week, actually, during a dinner, and all of us ended up leaving with tears in our eyes. It's magnificent. There is a proverb that says, "He who has health has hope, and he who has hope has everything." Today is about hope. Hope created through relationships. Hope's created by partnerships. You know, Governor, I've seen you and Karen, I've seen the Congressman stand on stage so many times and talk about our healthcare heroes, and we appreciate that. But we cannot do what we've done through this pandemic, especially without your help. Without the federal stimulus, without the job that you've done with HRIP, without settling lawsuits that allowed us to put money in hospitals' pockets to pay for our staff and our needs. Those are true heroes. Those involved in today's program understood the need of the kids of our Appalachian region, who unfortunately lead the nation, as I said, with poor health conditions. Many of them oftentimes have no voice to cry out. The heroes up front today are their advocates. are those that are supposed to be before them to pave the way, to ensure, as the governor said, that health care becomes a human right for those who are in need. These investments, for all of you that are here as our partners, a child will have access to a provider while now in school in rural parts of the state. A special needs child is not intimidated now while visiting our new ER. A newborn is now able to stay with his mother as a preemie because of our new designation. A child on the spectrum can use its voice for the first time at the age of 9. A child will be able to see its extended family for support now during an overnight stay. A child will have access to urgent care instead of having delayed care when care is needed. A child will feel like they matter during some of their scariest times because of today. A child's life is valued because of our heroes. So thank you. From the bottom of our heart, thank you. And because of the heroes, I want to kind of switch to a little more whimsical moment. Typically, anytime that we get our guests in such as this, we want to show tribute and our appreciation. So we want to present a little bit of a gift more on a whimsical side before we start shoveling sand and cutting ribbons. So as our heroes, Congressman, we'll present Congressman Rogers to Karen. Rocky Atkins, my hero, buddy. Karen Kelly. Secretary Goodman. Gayle Manchin obviously couldn't be here today, but we'll send that to her as well. She's been a great friend. I had the opportunity of going to D.C. and sitting down with her a couple of weeks ago, and as a West Virginian, and she's from my mother's city or outside of Beckley, and it was just a very pleasant experience and meeting, so I appreciate her. And, of course, our good friends. So again, we thank you from the bottom of our heart for today, for our partnerships, for your contribution, and for making a difference in the healthcare of Kentucky. So again, we're going to invite, there's some names up here that I can't see. I think Lisa will kind of direct everybody up to go ahead and shovel sand. And then as we're lining up everybody, we're going to do the ceremonial sand shoveling. Then we're going to invite the Mettus, Governor Beshear, Karen Kelly, Secretary Goodman, Rocky Atkins, Ron Burchett, Aaron Crum, our U.S. representatives, UK representative Mark Goodman, Dr. Gatakota, and our pediatricians down to the Children's Hospital for the ribbon cutting. And then, as I said, we may ask some of the rest of you to kind of mill around outside until that's over with, and then we'll open up the hospital for tours thereafter, okay?
That's okay. I'm ready. Okay, everybody get a scoop. On 3, we'll count down 3, 2, 1. On 1, we'll throw. 3, 2, 1.
Again, now for the sake of time, we're going to ask our guests that I just named. We've got an elevator held up. I would mention this also, is that we had 4 announcements today. The first announcement was the opening of a new business, which is our new
uniform shop. The second announcement, obviously, was the groundbreaking for our cancer center. The third one was the opening of our Children's Hospital. And then at 5 o'clock at the University of Pikeville, we have a huge announcement that we're really excited about and looking forward to also, that involves our partnership with the university and Pikeville Medical Center on our nursing program.
2, 1. Yay! Now.